Time for some world history. The Cold War, a time when the world was divided, not by battles, but by democracy. After World War II, the world was a very different place. The world came close to disaster during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. They also competed in science. The space race sent satellites and people into orbit. The United States and the Soviet Union became two superpowers. They were locked in a struggle known as the Cold War. It was a time when the US and the USSR were like two kids sitting on a milliers, each with their finger on a button. One button could destroy the world. That's how serious it was. But thankfully, neither kid pressed the button. The US formed NATO with Western Europe and other allies. The Soviets formed the Warsaw Pact with Eastern Europe and other allies. It also created the modern world. It was a time when the world was divided. It was a time when the superpowers competed in everything from politics to space. It was a time when we all lived in fear of a nuclear war. Thankfully, it's over today. But remember the lessons of the past so we don't repeat them. They had lots of weapons, and they did unlike each other's ideas about how to run a country. The US wanted to spread democracy and capitalism. The Soviets wanted to spread communism. The US supported democracy and capitalism. The USSR pushed communism. They never fought directly, but their rivalry led to wars in Korea, Vietnam, and Afghanistan. Both sides built massive nuclear arsenals. This created a fear of total destruction. Over time, the Soviet economy weakened, and when it did, it would be terrible. In the 1980s, Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev tried to reform it, but it was too late. By 1991, the USSR collapsed. The Cold War was over. Now, here's why it matters. The Cold War lasted over 40 years. It shaped global politics. It created alliances that still exist today. Now, I know this might seem confusing. The Cold War wasn't a war. The Cold War started after World War II. That's when the United States and the Soviet Union became superpowers. Both sides formed alliances. The Cold War was a time of high tension. It was a time when the world was divided, and we were all just waiting for something to happen. But in the end, the Soviet Union collapsed, and the Cold War was over. But the effects of the Cold War are still felt today. So remember, the Cold War was more than just a time of nuclear threats. And if you want to learn more about the Cold War, click here.